सो जीएस पेपर 4 इथिक्स के पेपर का एनालिसिस हम लोग करेंगे। और जो पहला प्रश्न है इस वर्ष के जीएस पेपर 4 का, इट इज रिलेटिंग टू दी सोशल मीडिया एंड द इथिकल डिलेमा एस्पेक्ट्स। तो जैसा कि आप लोग हिंदी में देख पा रहे हैं, इस प्रश्न को, मौजूदा डिजिटल युग में सोशल मीडिया ने संचार और बातचीत के तरीके में क्रांति लाई है। हालांकि इसने कई नैतिक मुद्दे और चुनौतियां खड़ी कर दी हैं। इस संबंध में मूल नैतिक दुविधाओं का वर्णन करें। 10 मार्क्स का क्वेश्चन है, 150 वर्ड्स में हमको सॉल्व करना है। सो लेट अस कम, अभी हम लोग इंग्लिश में इसको डिस्कस करेंगे, हिंदी में एक बार फिर से इसको डिस्कस करेंगे। सो इन द प्रेजेंट डिजिटल एज, सोशल मीडिया हैज रिवॉल्यूशनाइज्ड द way of communication and interactions. However, it has raised several ethical issues and challenges. Describe the key ethical dilemmas, and in this regard you can see, so see, we have to describe the ethical issues and challenges also. Describe the key ethical dilemmas in this regard. So there are few issues, few challenges, and there are ethical dilemmas. So what I would like to first highlight here कि हम लोगों को इस प्रश्न को जीएस पेपर 4 के प्रोस्पेक्टिव में समझने की आवश्यकता है कि सोशल मीडिया जो है वो डिजिटल एज में एक बहुत ही क्रांतिकारी पहल लाया है। The way of communication we are doing right now has been revolutionized due to the social media. We might see the use of Twitter, X, Facebook, LinkedIn, and so on, Instagram. So the way we have got active mediums of communications, at the same time, it has come with few ethical issues and challenges. We have to discuss the ethical dilemmas in this regard. The ethical dilemma per se we need to discuss is not with respect to we as an individual, but also as a group, also as a corporate, and also as a civil service aspirant and a government. These aspects we need to keep before us. So if we decode the question here, the theme is social media in digital age. Focus has to be on ethical dilemmas, not on technical or legal issues. And then we also need to take care of the paper the question is being asked. It is being asked in the GS paper 4, which is ethics. So our answer should be based on this paper, not on the basis of GS paper 1, GS paper 2. This is a question which could have been asked in all GS papers. So it has often come to my notice while evaluating the answers of UPSC and the CGPSC aspirants that we do not generally distinguish the answer based on the paper. So यहाँ पे हम लोग ethics के बारे में डिस्कस करेंगे। ethics के प्रोस्पेक्टिव से हम लोग इस क्वेश्चन को हैंडल करेंगे। सो लेट अस सी, एक्सपेक्टेशन हियर इज we need to identify few dilemmas, we need to introduce, have brief explanation, and then balanced conclusion also. So the question demands hardly 7 minutes and 150 words in 10 markers. So let us do the analysis and framing of the question. Social media basically is in the forefront of the public dealings, but it is empowering us or trapping us in ethical dilemmas. This is the crux which we need to answer here. So why these questions are being asked to us as a civil service aspirants, we need to answer it first. We need to decode it, that we need to have awareness of our technology and the governance side. On the one hand, it is very, very quite essential to use the mode of social media for PR, for awareness generations, for dissemination of different government schemes, etc., for using it as a tool of e-governance, also for citizen-centric governance, etc. On the at the same time, social media impacts the democratic aspects. The way government and the public uses the social media obviously has a central role in democracy, in governance, and in civil services. This we need to keep into the mind. So I hope you are getting that we are talking about the use of social media by the public, by us as a civic citizen, by the governments, by other different stakeholders, and then also as a administration overall. So let us go. The key ethical dilemmas which may come into the play is dissemination of knowledge, or on the one hand we need to see the aspects of connectivity or information dissemination. At the same time, one of the key issue is the privacy. Privacy versus freedom of expression, privacy versus use of technology or social media for citizen-centric governance. So, this is privacy versus connectivity aspects. At the same time, if we see freedom versus harm. Fake news is there during elections. Then the speed with which the information is translated and it is conveyed is so fast that we do not even have many times the chance to control it. Communal instances are there, and then there are different kind of instances. If things come into social media, if it is into the viral stage, it is not very easy to control it. We have seen it during the COVID-19 period also. So the freedom of expression aspect, freedom aspect is there definitely when it comes to the use of social media by the public as a civic citizen, as an individual. Then harm is there. Then we come to the truth versus virality. I just talked about it. It came during the COVID period. Algorithmic bias is there, especially when things are AI driven right now, and when things are driven by AI, it has inbuilt biases, systematic biases, especially when it comes to social media. The platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and then Twitter, YouTube, they themselves have different kinds of algorithms which may be directly or indirectly discriminating, having bias with respect to geography, with respect to society, with respect to different angles. Okay. Mental health aspects, it has been highlighted multiple times, but then now I would like to identify and note down few aspects. For example, the data sharing, storage, and processing. See, the ethical dilemma before we as individuals and also as government is, if we do not process the data, we do not share the data, we do not process and store the data into cloud or into different systems while using a social media, we are not able to get the things. For example, if we wish to share our pictures, we wish to share our experiences on daily basis, people analyze it on the basis of our chain of sharings only. At present, the businesses, the corporates, the HRs are using the tool of LinkedIn for evaluating the resume of different candidates. So, At the same time, the social media company, the government, it can be processing the data itself. So on the one hand, we have to balance its positivity. At the same time, we are at risk that our data may be at stake in the social media. It may be processed and it may be used for the use of different corporates, companies. You might have seen in the social media like Twitter, Facebook and Instagram, the kind of advertisements we get. The time we think about something, we are getting the advertisements. So one aspect, one ethical dilemma is whether I should share my information on consistent basis at all, whether I should start sharing it. This is one ethical dilemma. For the government also it is ethical dilemma that our data protection bill is there, where we have tried to balance it in our laws like BNS and IPC, CRPC, which used to be earlier in the vogue. There also we had sufficient provisions under the RT Act also, that at one time we need to process and utilize the data for betterment, for governance, etc. At the same time, it may be misutilized also. Like for example, the use of social media by government. It is desired that information is disseminated on consistent and regular basis by the government. At the same time, the way things are like getting viral, misinterpreted and like reacted upon by the people and some other pressure groups and elements, it often like comes in as an ethical dilemma for the officers as a civil servant, that whether they should disseminate more and more information, critical informations in the social media. So this is one of the ethical dilemma. Let us go and see what is the related aspects. The related aspects are basically the cyber ethics, digital governance and the right to be forgotten. This is also very crucial aspect which we need to highlight into our answer. UPSC has asked different questions on the IT ethics, social media and the fake news aspects. And as ethical civil servant, our dilemma is still valid, but we cannot bypass or rule out the use of social media. During this time, it has been critical that we utilize the strength of social media. At the same time, the regulation aspect also has to be taken care of. So let us see. I have tried to get the possible future questions with respect to this. We can get the potential questions like role of civil servants in handling misinformation. As a revenue officer, as a election in charge, district collectors, the others returning officers, they have to handle the misinformation aspect. Also during the law and order situations, we need to continuously take regular supervision on the social media for like ruling out any kind of communal tensions, law and order situations, etc. At the same time, we are monitoring it for the betterment, for maintaining the law and order aspects. So these are the, if you overdo it, then also over-regulate the use of social media. Like in India, there has been much questions raised upon the government for blocking different accounts. Maximum, like there has been a historic increase in the number of accounts in the Twitter and the Facebook and the posts which are tracking which are being taken down at the instance and the directions of the government. Even the platforms like Twitter X and Facebook have also objected to sometimes. So this has to be taken care of. Ethics of AI generated content. So AI is a different tool. The same kind of ethics applies there also. At the on the one hand, if it is there, I will discuss it here only. Like, if I take care about my privacy, I cannot share much information into the AI based tools like ChatGPT, for example. ChatGPT cannot give you a very inherent effective answers and solutions until we share correct and concise detailed explanations and inputs about our project, about ourselves. At the same time, it may be processing the information. It is one of the ethical dilemma before us. The extent to which the information should be devolved to ChatGPT or to say any platform by individual, to what extent it could be utilized by the government or to the outside external actors, because inherently it brings down different like issues like internal security, external security itself also. Then data protection versus national security aspect, which I just told. So we need to read and keep in mind different books and chapters. There are PJ Singh's Ethics in Governance chapter on IT ethics, which we can read. UNESCO report is there on misinformation, India's Digital Personal Data Protection Act 2023, and then case study response has to be seen on fake news, privacy breaches, etc. In the coming years, we can get questions on this. So let's see the model answer. I have framed a model answer that the introduction aspect could be like this. We can introduce our answer like social media has transformed communication, enabling instant interaction and democratization of information. Yet it poses significant ethical dilemmas. Significant ethical dilemmas, we need to give some examples. Privacy versus connectivity, data sharing versus data processing, utilization, share personal data often misused for surveillance, targeted manipulations or advertisements. That also is an aspect. Freedom of expression versus hate speech, communal aspects, and then also it relates to our with respect to our dignity also. So while it empowers voices, unchecked content promotes fake news, trolling, hate speech, etc. Then see, transparency versus algorithmic biases are there. Social media platforms influence choices through opaque algorithms. They are not very clear. Like on the one hand, you can see some kind of post getting viral instantly. At the same time, many consistent users could not even get audience. So these are the issues which need to be taken care of and even regulated also. So opaque algorithms are then raising concerns of manipulation. Authenticity versus misinformation is a crucial aspect, and during this period our significant number of burden is shifted towards checking the information on data check aspect. Authenticity of data, virality often overrides the truth, undermining the trust and in institutions. So we need to look upon this also. Mental health versus engagement. So again, excessive use of social media has much of the ethical and the moral aspects, psychological aspects as such. It is one kind of wave. A kind of life is being seen by the youth. Many youth there. So we need to especially take into account the excessive use of fuels addiction, anxiety, and distorted self-image, especially among youth. We kind of see it. Balancing innovation with responsibility requires ethical governance, media literacy, and self-regulation by both platforms and users, and the government also. Self-restraint has to be discharged by the government itself. Ultimately, technology should serve humanity while upholding values of dignity, truth, and justice. So this can be one of the model answer possible model answer. Obviously, we need to write quick answer. So there is nothing like best answer in 7 to 8 minutes, but we need to bring the syllabus of ethics and see the question, decode the question based on the lens of our ethical platforms. We need to analyze it based on the practicality, that as to why the use of social media has to be encouraged. At the same time, it has to be seen with respect to different dilemmas, ethical dilemmas, which are involved with respect to the use of social media. So this is all for this question, and we need to be better in the upcoming questions. So please keep into touch with the playlist. Please subscribe the channel, and in the coming days, definitely we will discuss different questions of all the GS papers, compulsory languages, and ethics. We will discuss here also. For other few subjects, I would suggest few channels to you which you can utilize. So for now, this is all. We will also discuss this question into Hindi and other questions. Please do subscribe our channel if you like it, or you can share your comment also for our improvement. Thank you so much.